Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a friendship card using the newly released definition of friendship from my favorite things. I love this new illustrator at my favorite things. I also bought another stamp set that I hope to be using very soon, but for today I'm using the definition of friendship. These two girls are so adorable. I'm going to color them in using quite some bright color combinations. But to keep it still simple, I am reusing the same skin tone on both of them. You can vary in that, but just to keep the amount of Copic markers limited on this image, I decided to keep it the same. So I will show you this one, and then the other one I will do exactly the same. So I'm not going to show you that, just to keep, well, to prevent from going over 30 minutes with coloring in one video. So I stamped this image out using Gina Design Amalgam ink, and I did that on Transotype perfect coloring paper. So I'm onto my second layer. I said it many times before, this paper is really handy if you're trying to do some coloring with alcohol markers, and if you experience with the current paper that you're using that sometimes your markers go outside the lines, what we call bleeding of the markers, without you wanting to, but just because the paper is oversaturated, then this paper might be the solution for you. It was for me. This one really can handle a lot of ink. I never had any bleeding so far. So this girl is going to get my current favorite pink combination for the dress, and then the other one will mainly get yellows, but I will use this pink on the accessories and the tiny details, just to keep it again as simple as possible, combinations as limited as possible from Copic Markers. If you want to check out the Copic markers that I used without having to go back into this video, by the way, I also have them linked, well, not linked, but listed on my blog post, so that's linked in the description box down below. Just easy for you to check it out later if you want to. And there I have divided it for skin, pink, yellow, the brown hair for later, and then the blonde hair as well. Always handy. So again, onto my second layer now, and as you can see with the shadows, I am not afraid to go a bit wider, because I now know that I have a lot of light space left and I have more wiggle room. So this time I really tend to go a bit further with the darker colors as well. So for the shoes, I'm using exactly the same pink combination. I actually do that quite often. I prefer simple cards. I sometimes make a scene card, I know. I can't resist it all the time. But I really prefer having things as simple as possible, and well, you can do rainbow of colors, and from time to time we definitely need a rainbow card, because rainbows, it's just, well, it's a happy place for many of you and for me as well. But like this, this is going to be a cast card, and well, yeah, just keeping it as simple as possible. So now onto my yellow dress. As darkest color, I'm using a yellow-red one, but this yellow-red 07 is actually, well, it's a really soft orangey color, and it really helps with getting that shadow going on. So maybe you have a yellow-red one. Don't be afraid to use it in combination with the yellows for your darkest color. It might just work perfectly. So now onto my second layer, and you will see that I will add a bit more, go a bit further in with my darker colors. And then again, working my way from darkest to lightest and going back and forth if needed. until I'm happy with the blend I created and the shadows on the dresses. Then her shoes will also get the same yellow color combination. And I'm not there yet, but I talked about it in previous videos as well. The hair. If you want to have those streaky hairlines with your Copic markers, it's not the easiest thing to do, if you ask me. And I told it before in videos that depending on the illustrator, they really help you or they don't when you are creating this kind of hairs. This one is amazing, this illustrator. As you can see, the hair you have, it's not all detailed, but there are some lines in the hair already, which will help you and guide you with how you could be using your markers to get that hair going on. And you will see it in my coloring that I'm really trying to follow the waves that are already illustrated by, in this case, the illustrator Tiddly Ink for my favorite things. So this girl is going to get some brown hairs. This is a brown combination that I use all the time because it works and I like it. And as you can see here, I really start in the middle of the hair and then at the ends of all the hairs, and just flick lines into it, trying to follow the wavy guidelines that we have in this image already. And then I'm just going, like always, from darkest to lightest, and we'll do 2 layers at least. If you have some wider areas, that's not an issue at all. You can fill it in if you want to. You can leave it as really wide highlights in the hairs. It's all a possibility. So as you can see here with my second color, I'm doing exactly the same as with the first, but I'm going a bit further, and that's how I create the hair. But truly, this illustrator is amazing to help you if you want this style of coloring on hair. Also, if you want really thin lines, then the more vertically you hold your marker, the thinner you will be able to put that marker down. And then the other girl will get some blonde hairs. I contemplate about giving her brown as well, I like brown hair, but just to have a bit more diversity here, decided to switch it up. So for blonde hair, I always use the E55, E53, E51, if needed, E50, but in this case I didn't use it, I think. But that's what I use currently. It's a really soft blonde hair. You can also use more yellow tones. But so far I haven't found a combination in my Copic collection that can work for blonde hair. Also here you can see that I'm really following the lines that are already there to guide me. So following those waves. And once I'm happy, that's it for this coloring. So actually a really lovely image to color. The size is lovely. There are details in this illustration, but at the same time it's big enough to be able to cut it out or color it in and all those things without having too much fuss. Now onto the background. I have this A2 sized panel, just trimmed it out, and I also have this thick and thin background stamp set from my favorite things. Now I love this background stamp. It's the first one that I have for my favorite things, but I think it will work on so many cast cards and even scene cards. So I really wanted to have it. Currently I don't have an original size Misty. Mine broke, and I'm waiting to get a replacement. But in the meantime, I could use this one just by using the way you just saw me doing. That's also because it's a red rubber stamp, and it's really handy. I don't think that a clear stamp could have given me this result, but maybe it works for you. But I need a Misty, you know? Normally I am not able to do things like this. I also use a really soft ink gravel from the stamp market, a really soft gray ink. I wanted to have a bit of a background behind the girls, but I didn't want it to take away from this adorable stamp set. So added lots of thin foam squares behind them, and I added them sort of centered in this on this panel. Now for the sequence, I'm using the Droplets poppy hearts from Little Things from Lucy's Cards, and I'm just going to add a few here and there, and then I will add it with some liquid glue. Sometimes trying to find the right sizes in a mix that you get is not as easy, but I managed. And once I was happy with the layout, I could adhere it. So I'm using some NUVO Deluxe adhesive, and then I will add this panel on top of a card base. Now I'm also going to add a little bit of a black glaze pen onto the eyes of the girls. You don't need to, but today I was brave and I took that black glaze pen to help me to pop those eyes even more. So I'm adding the panel using some adhesive roller. This one is from Pritt, but there are many adhesives for that. And then I'm just going to finish it off as I said. And then this card is completely done. I'm not going to add anything more. You can if you want to, but that's it for me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course that you like the end result. You can always give this one a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. I hope that you have an amazing day left. I want to thank you all, and I will be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!